Hi, Parul Banka here. I'm a storytelling coach. I coach terrific stories out of my clients to enable them share their genius in front of their tribe. In my previous stories, I shared with you the promise that I had made to undo about living the rest of my life fully and completely. In story number 2, I shared with you how I felt stuck despite my decision to move forward. Story number 3 was all about how I learned to adjust my sails in light of the circumstances I was in. And in story number 4, that is in today's story, I want to share with you how I really got on after I had learned to adjust my sails. So, I owned my new identity as an entrepreneur. I stopped complaining that it was too hard and I began taking inspired action. And this inspired action had very concrete steps. It started with gaining clarity. Remember Alice in Wonderland? Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, the cat said. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. If we don't know where we want to go, we wouldn't really get there. It is very, very important to have the clarity on where you want to go. Until now, I didn't have the clarity, but after I learned how to adjust my sails, I rewired my story. I owned my new identity as an entrepreneur. I gained a lot more clarity. Step number 2, I learned to play with my strengths. I decided that I would harness my strengths instead of improving what I would call my weaknesses, or instead of working on my areas for improvement, I would harness my strength. So I decided that I would just stick to things that I'm great at, which is speaking and coaching. And as far as the rest of the work is concerned, I would delegate it to someone. I would either ask for help, reach out to friends, or actually hire help. So things like digital marketing side of business, I hired a great coach. As far as keeping myself accountable is concerned, I hired a brilliant coach for that. So I decided that I would invest and work with 2 coaches who will help me achieve my goals. And I would just do what I'm great at, which is coaching and speaking. Number 3, I learned how to deal with my fears, my worthiness blocks, my conscious and subconscious blocks. Essentially, all the self-sabotage patterns that were preventing me from moving ahead, things that would bring up issues like I am not good enough, I am not smart enough, I don't know enough. I learned how to identify them, how to work with them, and finally, how to demolish them. It didn't happen in one day. It is a process. It has taken a lot of time. I'm still working on lots of things, but I'm making real progress. Point number 4, managing my state. It's amazing to continue taking inspired action when everything's going great. But what happens when you hit a bump in the road? In moments like those, it is so important to learn how to manage your state. In my case, I learned how to manage my state physically, emotionally, and psychologically. After a cancer experience, and because I'm still going through the treatment, and because I still have a lot of after effects from the treatment I have had, it is very important for me that I look after my physical well-being. And with everything that's going on and all the changes that I'm making in my life, it's obviously very, very important that I look after myself emotionally and psychologically as well. And learning how to manage my state when things aren't going how I would want them to go is something very, very critical for me. Managing my state of being was also a lot about owning my worthiness. Worthiness as in deservability, and believing that I'm worthy and deserving of everything great in life. And the final step was developing my new stories based on all this rewiring that I had been doing, gaining clarity on where I was and where I wanted to be, working with my strengths, working with all my fears, blocks, worthiness issues, learning how to manage my state, and developing a new concrete story for myself. So I was not the corporate employee anymore. I was an entrepreneur. I was this person who was an impact creator. I was a change catalyst, somebody who changes lives through her coaching, speaking, and writing work. I owned my new story. And so these were the 5 concrete steps I took to get where I am today. And I now help other people do the same. But I'm going to tell a bit more about that in my next video. I'll see you soon with the final video in this series. Until then, stay awesome. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.